Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeff Stevens from CrazyDadLife.com, the website dedicated to busy parents like you, balancing family and career while also exploring your passions and building online in the off hours. In this training video, I'm going to walk through how to create your own podcast artwork for free. And that last part is the most beautiful part of this whole thing, and that all the stuff I'm going to show you is completely free. And any entrepreneur starting out or anybody trying to start their own little side business, anything that you can find for free is an absolute bonus. So I'm going to show you how to do this, how to create your own podcast artwork today completely for free. And how I'm going to do that is using this tool called PicMonkey. Many of you may be familiar with this. Many of you may have never heard of it, but it is a website. It's picmonkey.com, as you can see here. And it's very simple what we're going to do here. So first of all, what you need for podcast artwork is you need 1400 by 1400 pixel count for your image. It needs to be a square image at that dimension for use within iTunes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture, just a stock picture that I have. You can find your own stock picture. You may already have one in mind for your background. You may create whatever sort of background you want. But at the end of the day, it needs to be 1400 by 1400. We're going to take that image, we're going to crop it to the correct size. We're going to resize it to make sure it truly is the 1400 by 1400. We'll try laying down an overlay logo. If you have a logo for your podcast, we can try that. And then I'll show you how to do some text overlay as well. And then a couple other special effects that may come in handy. So here we are at the PicMonkey homepage. From here, we can just go over to Edit. You can see there's quite a few other options you can do here with Design, Collage. Within Design, you could choose a square image if you wanted to start from scratch. But we're going to start with an existing image as our background for the podcast. So if we go into Edit, we'll be able to pull up our podcast background, and we'll see that we've now entered into the editor. So here is the image that I chose, this microphone with some fancy lights in the background. This will be our base image. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to crop it. So we'll go over here to the left-hand side where you can see a number of tools that are available for you to use to edit your image. So we'll go to the crop tool, select that, and what you can do here is you can set the parameters by which you want to change the height and the width of the image. And here you can select a square, so then it will make sure that you absolutely have the same dimensions for height and for width. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a square here, and we can drag these guys up and down to make sure it's the highest that our square can allow for this particular image. And you can move the square selector around to pick a part of the image you want. If you wanted to have more space on the right-hand side, or if you wanted to have the microphone be predominant in the middle, you could do that as well. But here we're just going to give it a little bit off to the left-hand side of our selected image. So we'll do that, and then we come back over and we'll apply this cropping. So hit the apply button, and now we have our perfectly square image all set to go. The next thing we'll want to do is actually resize our square to make sure that we are compliant with the 1400 by 1400 pixel count. If you go down to the bottom of the tool set, you'll see a resize option. Click on that, and you'll see we're right now at 832 by 832. Obviously, we want to go to the 1400 by 1400, and we hit apply. So now our image is sitting here at 1400 by 1400, and we're all good to go from a background standpoint. So this is your little square that you see within the iTunes app for podcasts. You'll see the little podcast icons. This is the square that you'll see for the podcast that we're creating artwork for right now. So right now we got the 1400 by 1400. Let's go ahead and add an overlay. To add the overlay, what you'll do is you'll go to the little butterfly. It says overlays. You click on the little butterfly, and they give you some options if you wanted to try some of the options that they have built into PicMonkey. You can see these little things you can add to your image if you wanted to. If you wanted to add some roses or butterflies or birds, whatever you may choose. But for ours, we're going to have our own logo. So with an overlay, this is just a layer that we're going to apply on top of this image. So let's do our own. We'll go back out and we'll go to the podcast artwork that I've chosen. And here is my logo from the Crazy Dad Life. And what you can do is you can drag this thing and resize it which makes it nice and easy. You can also click on it and drag it to wherever you want it. So let's say I just want to drop it up here in the corner. It makes it really simple to add your logo to your podcast artwork. So that's one option. Now let's say we want to add text. Maybe we don't want to have a logo, or maybe our logo is truly an icon or just a logo, and we wanted to add some text. Well, here we can go over to the text tool, click on the text tool, and we can choose various types of text. There's all kinds of fonts that are built in as part of PicMonkey. Now, if you scroll down through here, you'll see that there are some fonts that have this little crown next to them. And this crown means that these are premium options that you'll have to pay for if you want to use those. I've never had to pay for the premium options because there's plenty of capabilities that are available just straight out of the box. So I'm going to choose this Special Elite font. You click on that. Now that's the font I'm using. I'm going to go up here and hit Add Text. So now I have a little block here on my image that I can add in my text. So I'm just going to type in crazy. This will be the first word I want to add. So now that guy's on there. And you'll see another box over here where you can edit the actual text. So here's my word. I select that, and I know what my hex value is just because I've done it so many times. But if I type in the hex value and hit enter, I now have it set to orange. So now my crazy is just like in the logo, it's set in the orange font. And you can manipulate the size with the slider bar. You can do bold, italics, depending on the font you have. You can do the size here if you don't want to drag. You can just change the font here to 11, or you can type it in here and type in an 88 like it was. It goes back. You can do different blending modes, and what this does is you can change, you can see how it changes based on what I choose as far as how it interacts with the layer beneath it. We're just going to keep it at normal for now. I'm going to boost it up a little bit bigger, or a lot bigger, and I'll move him over there. It makes it really easy to do this stuff, right? I mean, you see it's very intuitive as far as how you can manipulate the text. So I'm going to do this a couple times. I'm going to add again. So I come over, I hit Special Elite again, select my font. I'm going to add text again. It gives me another box. This time I'm going to type in dad. You probably guessed that. I'm going to choose a blue. This one I don't know my actual hex value on, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And again, you can just drag it around. As you can see, it's positioned in front of the other layer. As you add these onto the image, they will be at different order. So I'm going to bring him there and just resize again. And then I'm going to add one more. Click on Special Elite, add the text. There's my box. Type in life. Select that. And again, you can choose any color along this array. You can enter the actual hex values. There's a lot of capabilities as far as how you choose whichever color. You just move your mouse around, you can see the different colors highlighted. I'm going to go with this green here, and I'm going to make him bigger as well. And then as you see, he's now on top of not only the orange, but he's also on top of the blue, and he's at the highest level. Now you can go in and actually change these. So he's above the blue right now. If I right click, I can go here and do send to back. I click on send to back, and that will change him to be below the dad text. So if I hit send to back, now it looks like everything's fine, right? But as soon as I click somewhere else, it's going to set it behind the dad text. So there you go. Now it's behind in the layers that we've applied. Doesn't really matter because I'm going to keep it on the highest level here. And again, I can resize to fit them however I want. I can move the dad over. And maybe this is the effect I'm looking for. Crazy Dad Life. So that shows you not only how to add your logo if you wanted to, very simply, but you can also add freeform text if you'd like as well. I'm going to add one more thing down here in the corner. I'm going to go all the way up to the top left to make it white. And I'm going to drop it in here. I'm going to call this the podcast because that's what we're talking about today, podcasts. And again, I can stick him down in the corner. You don't have to do that, but it makes it nice and clean. So now I have Crazy Dad Life podcast. Obviously, these are not my favorite colors. It's very rudimentary, but it at least shows you how to add text to your podcast artwork. So there we go. It's pretty simple as far as adding your logo, adding text. Okay, so one more thing I'm going to show you that's pretty cool. We got a logo here, or we got an artwork here for our podcast. We have the logo we could apply. We have the text we could apply. Now I'm going to add a little theme to this. So if you go down to the apple down here in the bottom left corner, it's the themes. Click on that guy. And you'll see there's a number of themes here you can choose to change things or add things to your actual image. So if we go down here to Celebrate, I'm going to choose this one for this demonstration. And let's say I want to add some, let's see, radiance, spotlights. I'm going to add some light trails. So let's add some light trails. And there's a number of types of light trails you could add to this in this particular effect. And you can see it's already overlaid it onto the image and it looks kind of cool. It adds another fancy effect to the base image that we started with. And you can kind of filter through these to see how they apply. Some of these are pretty cool. Show you different effects. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. It's kind of cool, right? I mean, seeing the way it's almost got like the sound levels for a podcast in the background. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to apply that effect. There's different things you can set as far as the actual settings for that particular effect, but I'm just going to keep the default. I'm going to hit apply. So this is my new image here. If I wanted to, I could go back and darken it a little bit to really pull out the text that's overlaid. So if I go back to effects and I go to, I'm sorry, actually I just go to the straight tools, I go to exposure, and then I go to brightness. And I can change this brightness as I scroll, as I pull the button over, you'll see the background getting darker all the way so you can barely even see it, or you can bump it up to really light and wash it out. But I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to keep the effect of the background, but I'm also going to make the letters pop a little bit more. Now, if I was doing this as the ultimate design, I'd probably do better colors here. But this at least gives you an idea of some of the ways that you can manipulate the various layers of the image, whether it's the logo, the text, the background image, or some of the themes that you can apply. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And now I have my image that I'm going to use for my podcast artwork. Now the last thing to do is save it. So let's go to the Save button. This brings up the next screen where you'll see your finished artwork. This is the 1400 by 14 icon that you'll have. You can choose your file name here, podcast background. You can change it to a PNG or a JPEG. We're just going to keep it at a JPEG for now. And the cool thing about PicMonkey, where a lot of online editors and photo and image editors that you'll find, a lot of times you have to save them on their servers. But the cool thing about PicMonkey is you can save it directly to your computer. So if I just do save to my computer, and I'll drop it in here, label it final. So podcast background final.jpg and save it. And that is it. Masterpiece is saved. I hope you learned a few things here, a few tips, and realize that there are tools out there that you can design really high quality images for free. Yes, that is the key thing, for free. I hope you got a lot out of this. Good luck with your creations and your podcast. And if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up at crazydadlife.com or on Twitter at crazydadlife. Thanks.